Welcome to Raise It Up with me, Danny Kagan, entrepreneur, mom of two, and your host. This is the place for real, no BS conversations about growth with ambitious women, mothers, and entrepreneurs who are building businesses while raising families. Together, we're redefining what peak performance looks like and reshaping modern motherhood. From parenting and personal growth to business and beyond, we're diving in with practical insights, empowering takeaways, and truly inspiring conversations. I am so excited that you're here. Let's go. Welcome to the episode. Before we get into it, I have to share an obsession of mine lately, ToothPod. It's a dental smart gum designed to clean teeth when there's no access to a toothbrush. It fights cavities, balances the oral microbiome, bringing down the acidity from everything we eat these days, and gets rid of coffee foam, which I love because I love my coffee. It's actually great during flights when I want that clean mouth feeling, but I'm not brushing right away. Plus, it's woman-owned, super sleek, and genuinely feels like one of those "why didn't I have this sooner" products. So go to toothpod.co and use the code DANNY10 for 10% off and get your free box when you make a purchase. That's toothpod.co. Use the code DANNY10. All right, let's get to the episode. Hello, everyone. You guys, I'm a little bit in shock right now because I have Jessie Cruickshank here, and I'm like, why is she doing this with me? I am no one. And she just hosted the friggin' red carpet at the Golden Globes. I'm like, what? I can't believe you're here.
Wait a second. Can I just tell you, first of all, excuse me. You are an incredible entrepreneur. We know each other personally. I am legitimately paused to take off my Maven shades that I wear constantly. I have multiple pairs.
Love that.
It's an easy yes to talk with you and to talk to women who are, looking for advice or kind of like on their own entrepreneurial thank you, journey. Also, I did have to, I was a little bit late, peek behind the curtain. I was a little bit late to record this with Danny. I threw my Golden Globes dress off of the back. It was in the background of this interview. It was right behind me, and I had to just throw it into the other room. So that's how fresh I am off of the Golden Globes. There's still my self-tanner residue on the inside of my borrowed dress.
I was secretly hoping you would just show up in that dress for this podcast recording.
I did have to do a 5 a.m. live hit the morning after the Globes on breakfast television, and I did it in the dress. And you know what? It's because I didn't have the time to change, didn't bother to change, and never look better. So why not? Why not ride that while I could?
But did you sleep in your makeup, or did you re-cake up your face?
Oh, I absolutely slept in my makeup. I slept in my makeup. I slept in my clip-in hair. And when I say sleep, I lie like a mummy and I close my eyes and I just verbally abuse myself, being like, sleep, sleep. And I wonder why I can't sleep when I have a pound of hair extensions poking into the back of my skull,
Oh my God. I haven't worn hair extensions in probably a decade.
I have been, and this is going to get emotional for me, Danny, but I have been hair extension free for almost 9 years now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And I appreciate it. It was a real addiction I had through the 2000s. Hair down to my waist. Mm-hmm. And when I finally got pregnant, I was like, this is unsustainable. I have mouths to feed. And I took out all the extensions and I had 7 hairs left on my head. So now it's an occasional clip, but I am rehabilitating the natural red locks,
Yes, and it's phenomenal. And we're all in this health zone right now too. And I totally get that. And when you have kids, everything changes so fast. And you have twin boys and a daughter. I don't know really how you're doing everything you're doing. How did you go on your comedy tour and still mom at the same time? What?
Oh, I didn't still mom at the same time. Don't get it twisted. People would always ask me, "Oh, did you bring your kids? Do your kids come on tour with you?"
Right.
No, I'm not Madonna. I don't have 3 nannies and a bus. No, my kids absolutely are at home with the other half of their parents.
Yes.
My amazing, supportive husband who has a thriving career of his own. But, we have figured that balance out. I could not tour without him. But the secret to my comedy tours, Danny, is that people are always like, "Oh, it must be so hard. You're going show to show. You're flying overnight. You're up
Right.
late. You're so much energy." It is so much easier to go on tour than to stay at home with 3 young children. I get to sleep in a hotel room by myself. I get to take a hot bath after a long, day on stage. Like, it is actually, I'm whispering because my husband's in the other room. It's actually, like, such a break. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my career, but it's also the easiest thing I've ever done compared to being a mother of 3. I
I
said it.
everyone listening is like nodding aggressively right now because they're like, I am with you. I understand. This is
Yes.
yeah, it is like I was on a trip. I call trips with my kids now trips. They're not
Mhm.
vacations. They're
They're
called
trips.
trips. And I'm going actually abroad to visit my sister who just had a baby. And um everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're leaving your kids for like 6 nights, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is a vacation."
Yes.
This is when I
Yes.
get to sleep in. No one's
Yes.
crawling into my bed in the middle of the night. This is like actually when I get to recharge, even though I'm still going to be like working a ton online,
Mhm.
like helping a
Mhm.
newborn.
Yep.
Not my kid. Like,
Yes.
right?
And, we're very privileged that we have the ability to do that. It's very hard. Like, we have
1,000%. Yes,
right?
please, please. Yes. We need to remember how grateful and privileged we absolutely are to be able to do that.
We really are, but I also feel like moms put so much pressure on themselves to not miss, this or be there for bedtime or whatever, and the fact is, my daughter in particular, is so close with her dad, in the most beautiful way. I mean, it's offensive to me when she won't let me literally get her out of bed or put her to bed, but they have forged that bond for the most part while I've been away. And I think that that's dads need that time too. And so if you are giving yourself a hard time for being away from your kids and you do have a partner at home, think of it as an opportunity to give them a chance to really connect with those kids in a way that they might not with you around.
1,000%. Like my mom gives me so much shit when I go away for work. She's like, "You're leaving the kids for this amount of time." And I'm like, they get to bond with their father. Like they have the best time. They do
Yeah.
such different activities. Like I don't know what fucking games he thinks of when I'm gone, but like he does. Like that is
Yes.
the best bonding. It's so nice for your daughter that like I think he's a little jealous sometimes because they are such mummy girls. But like when I
Mhm.
go away, they get that. It's so important. There's some science around that for sure. I know I read something
Okay.
once. Yeah, this is good for
Okay,
for
I'm
the
not a
father.
scientist. This is what I have. This is my observations from the field. You know what I mean?
Definitely
And
some
like
science behind this for sure.
I was raised by a working mom, who traveled in the '90s, and a lot of my friends' moms were stay-at-home moms and were always around, and I used to give my mom so much shit, that I feel so badly for now. I would always say, like, "So and so's mom makes fresh baked cookies after school, and this person's mom always takes us to the mall," and I used to when my mom would go away for work, I would sit in her closet and smell her clothes so I could smell her perfume because I missed her that much, and I would tell her that, and, like, now I realize how awful that must have been for her to hear, but here I am all these years later. I am like a successful, driven woman who has a thriving career because my mom showed me that example.
1,000%. Okay, career. You are one of the funniest people I know. I I really like
Thanks.
genuinely funny, like laugh out loud funny. And I'm like, how did you get this funny? And how did you know like I'm gonna do this like as a career and like use this like talent of mine to like build such a beautiful career? Like, did you know you were funny when you were little?
That's such a great question. No, definitely not. I don't come from funny people. Like I don't. Sorry to my mom and dad. And my sister is like the least funny person you've ever met. But my sister, I have an older sister, just like a year and a half older than me, and we're very close. But my sister is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I mean, dark hair, blue eyes, she would get recruited to be a model, like, wherever we would go. My sister is she's gorgeous, she's intelligent, she's the full package, and
Wow.
I think I came out with, like, a Cheeto on my head. My parents were like, "Who is this red like, where does this red hair come from? Like, what is this? Like, oh my god, put it back." Like, they didn't know what to do with me. And I don't think this is their fault. I think it's when you watch, your older sister who you idolize as a young girl be treated in a certain way that is notably different than you. Um, I was like, "Well, that's not my thing. I'm going to be something else." And so, like, I remember getting laughs at the dinner table, and I remember that was my superpower. And, like, my sister was doing her thing, and I kind of just leaned into doing mine. And so I always identified, and, like, you never wanna peak too early, but, like, I never got attention from boys.
You
I had
never
a
wanna peak too
unibrow.
early.
I
Yeah.
had a bowl cut, right, and, like, so I formed, like, a personality and a sense of humor, I think, as a result of sort of living in this, like, beautiful older sister's shadow, and so I credit that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would credit that too. I feel like that's actually, like, been helpful, even though it's probably hard to, like, watch when you're a kid, it's actually, like, helpful to have to be like, "I need to, like, work on my personality." Also, you're stunningly beautiful, so I think this is, like, very funny also that
Thank you. Yes, I don't mean to say like, well, part of it is the hair extensions. I don't but it's just seeing how somebody else is treated versus you. That was sort of what it was, I think. And my family always laughed at my jokes. So God bless them. I don't know what I was doing. I remember I would like had a bit, like I would do bits. I had a bit where I would put like my, like the Speedo bathing suit that everyone has as a child. I would put it on backwards. So like the back strap would come up between my nipples and I would do like a WWF wrestler routine. I had like a full character. I would run around. I was like a bonkers kid who was just going for a laugh at all times. At home, at school, very like serious, wasn't like the class clown, wasn't sort of forthcoming about my ambitions in any way. But at home, I just lived to make my family laugh.
and you're from Calgary and grew up in BC?
I was born in Calgary, in an A&W restaurant in Calgary, Alberta. Thank you so much, everybody.
No, I did not
Classy
know this.
from birth. Unfortunately, it is on the internet. Otherwise, I would never bring it up. But my
Oh
mom
my
did go
god.
into labor with me at an A&W restaurant in Calgary, Alberta.
You were destined for comedy.
I know, right? Like, what a stupid way to come into the world. Yeah, I have so many questions for them. And then we moved to Vancouver when I was young, so I grew up in Vancouver.
Okay, so you grew up in Vancouver, and
Mhm.
now you're in LA. So
Yes.
Canadian in America, like, what has that been like? I know we're in, like, a weird time too of I guess I'll just speak for myself, of my circle kind of thinking, "Hmm, like, should we be moving to the US right now? And what is happening in Canada?" So, I know that you definitely moved at, like, a different time, but what
Mhm.
really was it a career move? You're like, "This is how I become successful and take my career to the next level," or like, what was the thing that really you were like, "This is why I'm moving to the US?"
Yeah, thank you for making that clear. I wasn't like 51st state, let me get out of here. You know what I mean? No, I had a really wonderful, blessed run at MTV. And in the last few years, our show, The After Show, got picked up by MTV in the US. And this is like an actual fact. We were the first ever live show streamed simulcast live in the US from Canada in television history. So it was like this big thing. We were on TV in the US and I started to get offers pretty constantly in my last year at MTV to come down. And so eventually I took an offer for a development deal at the CW here in LA. And then we developed a game show that I got to do for several years. So that's sort of what moved me down here. And also my husband, who I was dating at the time, was originally from LA. So all of his family was here and it was kind of like a nice fit. So
That
we
is
have
very helpful.
grandparents who live here and we have like actually quite a fabulous community and local school. And I know it seems I'm more Canadian than I ever have been, certainly in the last couple of years. I feel so much pride and I really think often about moving back. And I think one day I will. But for now, we've sort of built a really nice life here.
Yeah, it's so cool, and I feel like it's also So, like, people are just jealous that you get to have summer all year long? What's that like? What
No,
a
no, they're not. Danny, I cannot tell you. I find myself defending like my living choices nonstop to Canadians, and they have every right. I totally get it. But when people are like, why do you live in the US? How could you live there? I'm like, I have not worn a jacket in 10 years. It's like you cannot put a price on not having to put your kids in a snowsuit and snow boots, on like being able to play in the backyard yard year round. We were here in COVID, which I like to say was the greatest time to live in LA because you didn't have to deal with the traffic or the people. It was
yeah.
just like a nice spacious backyard and beautiful weather all year round. And we were, it was a good place to be, especially with little kids. So, yeah, that's a pretty nice bonus.
That's
My brain has
pretty
like forgotten how cold, it can get in Canada. But again, I'm
yeah.
not adverse to moving back. I mean, really, things are getting scarier every single day here.
Yeah, like, things are kinda scary everywhere, honestly. I don't know what kind of world we're living in. Let's talk about something that is really fun because the Golden Globes just happened, and
It's a hard
honestly,
transition from like ice to the Golden Globes.
I'm like, in my head, all I can think about is LA weather. That's why I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
looking outside at the gray, like, and the snow on the ground, and like, I look at you and I'm like, LA, like, let's think about warm weather. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we are. You're offered this incredible opportunity to like host the red carpet at the Golden Globes, to like do that. First of all, it looks really glamorous. Like, what are the behind the scenes of doing that? I'm so curious.
It's the least glamorous thing you can ever imagine. I'm glad you thought it looked glamorous because boy, oh boy. So I worked for eTalk for 6 years, before I had kids. So like 8 years ago, and I got a job at CBC. I loved my time at eTalk, but I was very happy to not have to do the red carpet grind anymore. So I hosted many an Oscars, many a Golden Globes back then, haven't done it since. When they asked me, I was like, no, 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 I'm not doing that again. I did that. That's in the past. That's from my, old career. And then I was like, Jesse, I think that's a decision you're making with your ego. Like somehow you're better than that. You've moved on from that. And I was like, why don't you just make a decision with your heart? Like, it would be so fun. And I got unprecedented access. We were the Canadian broadcaster. So I was like, you know what? That's I have a bit of a give no fucks, pardon my language, mantra for 2026. I was like, who cares? I'm pulling out the Spanx, putting on the heels, and I'm coming out of retirement for this one. Um, and that's what it is. It is like you have to know when you're doing a red carpet show, you have no idea who's going to come and talk to you. So you can
Right.
get Leonardo DiCaprio. You can also get like the third person listed as a composer on the score for a Norwegian film. And you kind of have to be ready for all of it. So we had a 128-page binder, that I had to write
Holy
questions for
smokes.
every single person. I was seriously prepared to like talk to that composer if he came onto the platform. It's like you have to study your ass off. You have to be I was up at 5 a.m. The carpet started at 2 p.m. Like you have to be there, security checks. It is not I changed into my gown like behind the set. Like it's not chic. But when it starts, for me, the thrilling thing, it's like this 2.5 hour window where the floodgates are open. Anyone and everyone could come up to you and walk by at any given time. It's absolute chaos. There are hundreds of publicists, stars, everybody running around, wrangling people, bringing people to you. And so all of that prep and it just goes out the window. And for me, that's when I get to just like do my thing. Like it is all leading up to that little window where anything can happen.
So who was like the coolest person that you met that is like maybe a little bit you know, unexpected?
I mean, I got to talk to people that I have never been able to, like in all my time at eTalk, who would ever have come and talked to us. Like George Clooney and Damal and I had a moment. I talked
Yes,
to
I
The
saw
Rock.
that. Oh my god, that was
Yes.
super cool.
Right. It's like
Yes.
those giant stars. Like The Rock was literally behind the scenes. A lot of the big guys, Timothy Chalamet, The Rock, Julia Roberts, the A-listers show up 5 minutes before the show. And part of it is strategic. If you're the first one on the carpet, that's like being the first one at the party. Like you don't want to be you don't want to be breaking the seal. You want to let all the young, hungry people walk the carpet first and then you show up. It's like take some cues from Rihanna at the Met Gala, right?
Got it.
So they show up late as part of a show of status, and also because they don't want to stop and talk to Jessie Cruickshank from Canada. Like they just want it. George Clooney just wants to get into the show, right? And so if you show up late, it's easier for you to brush past everybody on the carpet. So 5 minutes before the Globes go live to air, The Rock arrives, and at this point they're making full announcements on the PA, like everyone needs to get in the ballroom. The show is beginning, and I happened to have the foresight, thank you, Danny, to know that you got to do what it takes to get people to come and talk to you. So I printed out a picture of my daughter, who at 2 years old chose to dress up as Maui from Moana, not Moana, bought her a
Maui.
Moana costume, and she was like,
Right.
no, get this bikini out of my face. I want a long wig and a loincloth. So I had a picture of her dressed as him. I'm like holding it over my head like The Rock. And he's walking past Gayle King and he's walking past Mario Lopez. He even walks past Snoop Dogg, who is doing interviews next to me, oddly. And he sees this picture of my daughter, Romy, and he comes straight over to me and starts talking to me about the live action Moana and talking to Romy into the camera. And it was like this really special moment. Even Snoop Dogg looked sideways at me after, being like, bitch, how did you get The Rock? So I pulled out the stops for The Rock this time.
This is a very good moment to just like pause for all the entrepreneurs out there and just remember like you gotta just kind of fight your way to get what you want. You can't, it doesn't, they don't just walk up to you. You have to kind of be clever and think of cool things to do to get people's attention. This is a very good reminder for all of us right now. Thank you for
It's
this,
so
Jessie.
true. And I have too much pride to be like the desperate one on the carpet, like, The Rock! Ah! Like screaming someone's name and I've done it. I did it for many years, and it makes you feel so less than when you are
Yeah.
standing behind a rope desperately screaming for like the third tier cast member of a Netflix show to make eye contact with you. That is a very demeaning moment when you feel like you, I don't know, have worked harder than that. And so I hate that. That's like never been my thing. And so yes, you have to think outside of the box. And that goes for not just getting people's attention, but also for me, I've always approached celebrity interviews from the standpoint of what won't other people ask. I
Right.
never want to ask the same question as anybody else. A lot of that has been sort of I took that on because when I started at MTV in Canada, you would get one celebrity come to Toronto for one day of press, and they would do every single show from morning to night. They would go on this show, this show, this show. So you're all watching Mark Wahlberg give the same interview as you change the channel in Canada. And my mission became, how can I get you to see Mark Wahlberg from a different perspective when he sits down with me? What can I do with him that you're never going to see on all of these other shows? And that sort of became my mantra from MTV and beyond.
I think that's like a big part of your success too. You've always just been like, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to add like my own twist. I'm going to, you know, be a
Yeah.
little bit outrageous. I think that's like the secret sauce to your success too, right? Like you've just been you, like unapologetically you.
That's absolutely true. Thank you. And also, I would say I am not afraid of what people think of me. I think that a lot of you see, like, let's just talk about celebrity interviews or reporters, which by no means is how I identify, but they seem to be afraid. They seem to be nervous. They want to be liked. They want
Yes.
to be respected. They want to ask their serious, important questions about the film. And I understand that. Like, I'm a people pleaser in my personal life. I get it. But for some reason in my professional life, I am not at all. I want to ask what the audience wants to see. I want to create a moment with you that shows us a different side. And I honestly don't care what you think of me. And I will tell you, Alicia Silverstone, not a fan of mine after our red carpet interview on Sunday. She was, but of the 45 people I talked to, if one person kind of walked off being like, "Oh, that was weird," then I did a great job. Like I do not, I again give no fucks in 2026. I don't care what people think about me. I care about serving the audience.
Oh, I love this. So, speaking of like how you are in your professional life versus your personal life, like you have so much energy, like you're always like doing interesting things, you're on the go, you're full of life. Are you like this also? Like, is this the type of mom that you are behind the scenes too? Like, do you have another level?
I'm so honored that you would say that to me because I think I've recently, only after my last tour, did I come to realize that that is just me. I think like, listen, I'm not on 24/7 like, "Oh my
Of
god,
course.
no." And trust me, I know many comedians who are, and it's tough to be around. Like, of course, I have a different switch when I'm home with my husband, home with my kids, but I think I have realized that, like, my purpose on this earth, because as you know, we get older and we have kids, we're like, "What am I doing? Like, what am I how am I a role model for them? What impact am I leaving?" And I think when I saw, like, thousands and thousands of women across the country, women who are moms, women who are, many of them entrepreneurs, working moms, tired ass, hardworking moms, come out to my shows, let loose, laugh, dance, connect, feel like this moment together. I was like, "Oh, this is my purpose. My purpose is to be like the Pied Piper of joy." Like to remind women that it's okay to do something for you, and this comes back to the beginning of our conversation, like to do something for you just because it brings you joy, just because it
Totally.
makes you feel happy. Like that's all I ever wanna be. And so I do think I have like sort of that joy and that sparkle all the time, and I try to attract other women and other mom friends who kind of share that energy and that spirit and that
I love that.
zest for life, if you will.
Yes, zest for life. And like, I mean, the other people that you surround yourself with, like, do you only have celebrity friends or do you have normal friends?
Wait, I don't have any celebrity friends. What are
Really?
you?
Oh my God, to
Well,
me, you're like a celebrity. So, like, everyone you associate with is
oh,
obviously a celebrity.
oh my god, you're so funny. As if no, I will say I have a lot of like like all of my friends in LA, my best friends are all Canadian. I mean, it is
Oh, I
like
love that.
discrimination. I just we find each other and we hold on to each other. So many of my friends are yes, like Canadian television personalities or like actors who are here. But they all like the Canadians don't feel like celebrities. We're just like all, we're all in the same
If
come
you're one
from
of
the
the
same
Canadian
place.
friends, you're just one of the normal friends,
Yes.
regardless.
One
I love that.
100%. And then I have many friends who have gone on to have great success, but we were friends before that, and I think that that is sort of, we hang on to each other because we knew each other either from high school or whatever, college. And then it is like I live in a part of LA where a lot of entertainment show business people live, and so just by virtue of my kids going to the local school, I have become friends with some high profile people. And they're just moms like me. Like we're just trying to get through it together. And sometimes they go off and do television shows and I'm on tour and like we kind of share a connection in that way. Um, and Jeremy Allen White is a dad at my school, but not friends with him, unfortunately. Not friends with him.
Oh,
Just stare at him from across the playground constantly.
yeah, I would too. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Yeah.
gosh. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't approached and, done your thing, but
I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool.
right.
He often wears like a white tank top at the school. It's like it's almost too much to approach.
Right.
So I will circle back with you, Danny, and let you know if I ever do
Yes.
strike up a convo. Yeah.
I would love to know if that ever did happen. I have to pause the episode for a second to tell you about Maeve and Shay, the best slippers on the planet. Not only are they podiatrist approved, but they are also super chic and insanely versatile. Like you can actually wear them outside of the house and still look cute. And here's a little secret, I designed these myself. Yep. So every time you gift a pair to that special woman in your life, your mom, your sister, your bestie, just know that it's woman owned and ethically made. So go treat yourself or someone you love. Head to maeveandshay.com. That's Shay like home in French, Chez, as my American friends say, and get 10% off your first pair with the code RAISEITUP. That's maeveandshay.com. Use the code RAISEITUP. All right, let's get back to the episode. Okay, so with your kids, you are obviously you're very active on social media. Your kids are in your social media. I talk a lot to my mom community about, are we showing our kids on social media? Are we not? What are the pros? What are the cons? And like I show my kids on social media. I think it's like, well, I'm kickstarting their career. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I just, it's something that I like to do. And, you know, I've spoken to my husband about it. He'd prefer them not to, but it's also part of like my brand. And, you know, I have literally a women's shoe brand. Like it's for people like me. And I feel like it adds a lot of value. I literally started Maven Shake because I was pregnant with my first. So it's like a big part of my story. And I feel like your kids are also part of your story, but like, how do you navigate that? Because you have a huge following.
I mean, it's funny. I have a joke about this in my on my last in my last stand-up special, which is like everybody gives us such a hard time for like posting pictures of my kids on the internet. The whole thinking is like, well, what's going to happen like when they grow up and there's all these hundreds of embarrassing pictures of them? And the joke is like, bitch, do you know how many embarrassing pictures of us were posted on the internet without our consent between the years of like 2000 and 2005, like from someone's digital camera while I was blackout drunk at a club? Like there are so many worse things on the internet of us than will ever be of my children. But
For
in
sure.
seriousness, like I never even really considered not, and that's I think if I wasn't a public figure, I probably wouldn't, but I think because I had a show called New Mom Who Dis,
Yes,
and
I
that, like
remember.
you, was like my way of, connecting with other moms and telling them what I was going through, and it's hard to do that with, like, an emoji on your kid's face. Also, I realized quite early on that my boys, specifically my identical twin boys, like, brought a lot of people joy, as they bring me joy, and I felt great joy sharing them with the world. I will say now they are 8 and they definitely have set boundaries for what they do and do not wanna do. So I will never force my kid to come and do something. The other day, like one of my sons, Rio, does very funny fashion commentary, like wrap ups sometimes for the Oscar fashion or whatever. And I said to him, like, do you want to do a Golden Globes one? And he was like, no, I'm reading Harry Potter. And I was like, cool. I'm never gonna as they get older, they can make their own decisions. God forbid I've like raised them to want to be YouTubers. Like that would end it all. But we never force them to do anything that they don't want to do. And I think I'm unique, unlike I would say a traditional influencer who like I've been around many and they're just constantly filming and everything is always on and your kid is always on camera and you raise these like robot kids who are trained to smile at the camera. I'm not that way. I have an
Right.
online life and I have a very robust not online life, and I'm not filming 24/7, and so I think that sort of changes the game too.
Yeah, well, I think that's super important. Like, I don't know how you could live just constantly filming. Like, I'm
Mhm.
exhausted thinking about it.
Oh
So
my
I don't
god, I
even,
know.
yeah. When,
Well, even like we were a part of this big holiday campaign for Joe Fresh. I got to do a collaboration with them, and then my whole
yes,
family were like the models for their holiday campaign. So we fly out to Toronto. It's a 2-day
which those
shoot.
pictures are so stunning, by the way.
I'm so glad you appreciate them because the what it took to get those pictures after like a half a day of taking photos. My one child, who's like he likes the spotlight, Rio. He was like, What's the next outfit? What's the next look? Ready to go." My two other kids, Romy and Dre, seriously were like, "We're done. We're not doing this anymore." And there was a conversation with the Joe Fresh team, and they were lovely and understanding. And if you look at those shots, you will see Romy, Dre, and Rio are in like 4 pictures. The rest are just all Rio. Like, thank God he's an identical twin because I think some people would never have known. But like, Dre does not appear in 90% of the campaign that I was technically, paid to do. he just, but listen, he said no. And I'm not trying to raise like Macaulay Culkin. Like, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to do it.
Right? Like, I'm with you. And you know what? Like, good for you for being like, I'm not going to force my child. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, at the end of the day, they're children.
Yes. It has to be fun. It has to be fun. Yeah.
It does. It does. Um, Jessie has, and like, I'm really annoyed with you if you don't already know this, but Jessie has the most incredible podcast, Phone a Friend. I'm a phony. And it's number one in Canada. Like it's the number one comedy podcast in Canada, which is really fucking cool. Um, Congrats, first of all.
Thanks. No, it's thank you.
And
But the greatest part is that it beats all the men. It beats Smartless, it beats Conan O'Brien, it beats David Spade. Like that's the most satisfying thing to see my little picture above all of theirs. That's the only thing I care about, honestly. In the comedy world, like, yes.
yes, I am like, I have like, I'm like excited for you because, and I feel like I'm with you because like all the women are like, yes, this is like, this is the new thing. Like women
Mm,
rising is just like,
mm.
I'm so like raw women right now. Congrats on the podcast. How did you start it? You know, how did you decide to like, pick this as like the next part of your career? Because it is a little bit different, but I feel like it's like it's just so perfect for you.
So I got into it way too late. I mean, when did you start yours?
I just started it like 2 years ago, and then I took a break to have a baby, and now we're on season two.
Yeah, like where we got into this game way late. And in fairness, people had approached me about doing a podcast like probably 10 years ago. And every year I was like, no, 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 no. Simply for me, because I didn't have the concept. Like I always start with the creative. I'm never going to say no if it's not going to be good. My greatest fear is that I'm going to put something out, whether it is a 10-second reel or a 15-second story slide. Like if it's not going to be great, I won't do it. And so I said no. I took so many meetings. I said no. I put it off until I had the idea. And for me, the idea came about for Phone a Friend. The concept is it's a pop culture podcast for like dumb and busy, tired moms who don't keep up with pop culture but
It's
want to
me.
know.
It's for me. I live
It's
under a
right.
rock. I don't
Yes.
know anything. I'm like,
No.
people say names to me sometimes, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Like, I'm a mom and I have my business. Like, I don't have time for the pop culture. So
No.
thank you. You're making me like cool.
This is what I hear is that like I am helping our millennial women and beyond to sort of just like at least know like what is happening on TikTok or what the feud is with the Beckhams. We have a segment called Dumb and Busy where we like really like give you an in-depth on something that you've probably seen in the news, but you don't know what the hell is going on. Um, and the idea of Phone a Friend is like when there is something that I don't understand happening in the culture, I get to phone a friend. So I can phone a celebrity. I have many celebrity guests, or I can phone a tween to explain some feud to me, or I phone divorce lawyers. I phone paparazzi, like who will explain things to me and my audience. So once I had that concept, I was like, I hit the ground running. And I think we like turned around the first episode within a month. Like I was so excited. And that's sort of how my brain works. And that's probably why I still somehow have a platform in this business is because when I get an idea, I get so excited about it. Again, zest for life. And I just go do it. I get excited about something and I want to do it. And to a fault, if like something doesn't excite me as much as it used to, I'll just stop doing it. So maybe
Right.
I should like, I do sort of like do things and then drop them when I'm over it. But for me, I have to have that fire and that passion. And the podcast has been that for me because I do live episodes and women fly in from all over the country. And like you get to
Right.
actually connect with people in, I think, a more intimate way than anything else that I do.
Yes, I really do wish I could do more podcast episodes in person. There's just something,
Yeah.
just generally everything in person is better.
Yeah.
It's so intimate. You get like a real connection and vibe, and so that's so cool that people will. And do you record this? Where do you record this from? Do you have like a cool studio you do this from? Yeah.
Yes, I do it in LA. I have a studio and then my podcast got bought by SiriusXM here, so I can also record
Congrats.
episodes at the headquarters there. I did a little episode with Joey McIntyre of New Kids on the Block there last month. That was I mean, just the best. Just the best. I get to meet all these people. I'm such a like loser, like who still loves all boy band members and is like horny for everybody. And so to get to like drag them into my podcast is like it's very gratifying.
It's very cool. Is there like a specific person or interview that you've done that has just been like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this or I'm meeting this person?
I got to have Lindsay Lohan on the pod, which is absolute bucket list moment. And she was like, I don't have a good gauge on Lindsay Lohan's sensibility or sense of humor. And it's always scary to like throw a joke out there and see if it
Right?
lands. But
Right?
I think I kicked off the conversation by saying like Merry Christmas and Happy Renaissance. And she started to laugh. And then that was like, we were in. So that was a great episode. I got to have Chris Kirkpatrick of InSync on my podcast, and he was
Oh,
so absolutely unhinged. He actually looked me up and down at one point and told me that if I had tried to get on his tour bus back in the day, he would have said no. You love to hear it. It's getting people in the room and asking them the questions that I and so many of my listeners have always wanted to get answers to. That is so, so satisfying. And there's something about a podcast where people feel safer to be
yeah.
themselves, as you know, and
Yeah.
I can really like, there are no rules. There are often publicists in between you and any given guest on a television show, but on podcasts, they just let you do what you want to do, ask what you want to ask. It's the greatest freedom.
Well, I do this thing where I ask my guests a day or two before. I just want to make sure if there's anything off limits, like something I can't ask you. And Jessie, of course, was like, "Nope, we're good."
No,
And I just like
no.
love that about you. And I mean, most of the people I have are like pretty similar. You'll get a few though that will be like, "This is off limits and this is off limits." So I love this because it's just you get to have a more real conversation without like any boundaries. And I
Yes.
actually find it helps more people because I know that like the more vulnerable we get, even if it's like not serious or it is serious, like just vulnerability generally, like it really does inspire people. Like
Mhm.
people walk away with a lot more to take away, a lot more value.
100%. And by the way, I don't think I ever put limitations on any conversation since I had Justin Trudeau on my show, New Mom Who Dis. It was in the middle of his reelection campaign. The blackface scandal had just happened. He was not
Oh, I
doing any
remember this
interviews.
interview with him. Yeah.
Okay. So this is like you can't imagine a more stressful time in this person's political career slash life. His team approaches me and he asks to do an interview with me on New Mom Who Dis and an interview with Global News. Those were the only two interviews he gave during the entire reelection campaign.
Wait, hold on.
And
His team reached out to you.
his team reached out to me. They had some like mom-centric policies that they wanted to get out, and to their
Ah,
credit, they were smart and they knew that like they could reach a Canadian female audience via me. What they didn't realize is that I am not just going to ask boring questions and I'm not going to ignore the blackface scandal as probably they hoped that I would. And so I really went hard during that interview. It's like one of the most watched things I've ever done in my life.
yes.
But to his and his team's credit, did not tell me anything was off limits. I have gotten lists of what's off limits from D-list stars promoting their, you know, what podunk show. I got no list from him. He sat in a baby child's chair. He answered hard-hitting policy questions holding a baby. He answered questions from children. Like they gave me no rules. And I was like, listen, if the Prime Minister of Canada in the middle of a heated election has no rules for what people can and cannot say to him, then surely I shouldn't either.
Right? I'm going to use this as like a case study now for like anyone that comes back and is like, yes, I have something that is off limits. I'm going to be like, well, hold up. And then I'm going to retell
Because
this whole story.
Because if you have something that is off limits, you need to learn how to pivot and not answer that question. That's it. That's it. You should ask if there's something that I don't want to talk about, I should be smart enough to anticipate it and know how to get away from it.
Right? I do
It
feel like
shouldn't be on you, the interviewer. It is on the interviewee, in my opinion.
1,000%. How did you become such a good interviewer? Because everyone now has to become, this is a skill set that everyone needs. In my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, I think this is something that everyone needs to get better at. And I know that like people listening right now are starting to do more of this and like speaking and getting their brands out there. You have to become the face of your brand now. This is like public speaking.
I
Welcome. We have
know.
to all get comfortable in this uncomfortable space. How do
It's
you
the
get better at
worst,
this?
isn't it? I feel so bad for these hardworking people, women specifically, who are just trying to be an entrepreneur and put out like a cool skincare line. And they all of a sudden have to be like social media stars and talking in ring lights. And like,
Yep.
it is, I really do feel bad because it's not everybody's skill set, nor should it be. Um, and I don't know, like, if I have just one piece of advice, it's like try to just be you. I think that'll be more resonant, especially in this day and age of like people want someone who's accessible and real. And I think so many people try to be something that they're not, and like, hi, I'm presenting my whatever it is, and like I think you're gonna have far more success if you just try to be a version of the person that you are at the dinner table with your family, you know?
Totally. So you've had like this really cool career. What's like the next chapter for Jessie? Like what do we look forward to? Are we doing more touring? Are we like what's exciting for you? What's like calling for you right now?
I have to be honest. So, like, what's my new thing that's making me excited? And I'm gonna ditch everything else that I've done. um, I never in my wildest dreams, making jokes at my dinner table, would have could have even dreamed as big to say that I would be like touring as a comedian, that I have like a streaming special that streaming globally. Like that's the craziest thing. I think stand up is like the hardest thing, and I feel so um proud that I have figured out how to do that, and with some success. Like that is the thing that I feel the most proud of, and it's something that is really hard. And I love my breaks in between tours, but I certainly there will be a time when I'm ready to go out on tour again. But until then, I have something that I'm brewing for the spring for across Canada that I'm like almost embarrassed to tell you. So you're just gonna have to follow me at Jessie Cruickshank. Watch this space because it's gonna be huge. But until I like hone it in a little bit, we can circle back. I'll come back on the pod and talk all about it. But
Okay,
it is
great.
something that I am doing for women specifically. That kind of feeds into this mantra of like the Pied Piper of fun and merriment, and just like get out of the house and have a great time. So I have something in the works that it's the thing I've never been more excited about. And everybody was like, "What? You're gonna do what?" I'm like, "Watch, just watch." I've had a lot of people be like, "You can't do that." I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You've heard it here first. I'm gonna do it.
I have no idea what this thing is, but like
Sorry.
I want to just put this out there as an ex-professional dancer who now has to dance for social media for my brand. I don't know what it is that you're doing, but if there's any kind of like dance component that is part of this,
Okay.
just count me in.
Okay.
I will be there. I don't know what it is, but
Okay.
I'm putting it
Okay.
out there into the universe.
Here's what I need you to do is take the recording of you saying that, this clip, save it, put it on ice until this spring, play it, and be like, you heard it here first. Okay? Just get ready. Get
Okay.
ready.
I'm
Mhm.
also happy to hear you might go on tour again because like I really want to see you live. I feel like again, like there's something really powerful about being in person and like going to
Yeah.
see your favorite comedians and like live. It's just we're coming back to it now. Events are coming back. I'm so
Mhm.
into it. So I'm very excited to hear that because I missed your first two tours. I had babies.
Mhm. Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
excuse. I was having babies.
Well, I don't know. Some people came with their newborns, okay? I had people breastfeeding in the crowd. I do not accept your excuse.
You're right. I'll be there. I promise. You've heard it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have lots of witnesses now.
Okay.
Um, one final piece of advice that you would have maybe given to your younger self. I love like hearing what people would say to themselves because it's like one thing to like dish out to like everyone else, but like what would you have said to like your younger self?
I think I would just remind myself to like follow my soul. You asked me like what do I want to do in the future? I have no idea, Danny. I do not have a vision board. I do not set goals. I do not make lists. I just follow the thing that sparks a fire in my belly. And if that is a man that I think is I'm in love with, like I marry that man. And if that is a feeling I get that tells me like I'm ready to have kids, I have kids. And if that is a feeling that I get that tells me like this podcast is it, do this, I do that. I just follow the thing that excites me. And like I said, most of the things that excite me don't work out. I've had a lot of things that haven't happened for me that I've put a lot of passion and time and energy into that I wish turned out differently. But the things that have been the most gratifying things in my career. And it's all because I just followed that little burning fire within me that made me excited. So like, listen to that and don't necessarily get caught up in like, what's the plan? What are the goals? What are we achieving? 2026, everybody has this like new year, new me energy. It's just like, no, listen to yourself. And what is it that you can't stop thinking about, and do that and go in that direction.
Oh my God. That was, as someone who like flies by the seat of my pants, I really appreciate you saying this, because I'm very like, to other people, I'm probably very type A, but like to me, I'm very type B. I'm very creative. I'm kind of all over the place. I forget about early school pickups. Like I'm just,
Yeah.
going like hour by hour sometimes. So thank you for reminding us that like it doesn't need to look a certain way, and just to like follow the things that make you feel good. I really like, everyone's like, my vision board came to life and like it's because I put it up. And I was like, I don't want to do that, and I don't have a desire to do that. And I really like, thank you. This like gave me a lot of like energy. Thank you. And like confidence
I'm
that
so
I can just live
happy.
like this.
No, just know I am a hot mess. Hot mess. Have nothing organized, nothing is planned. And when people say like, how are you still? I mean, I like, Danny, we're going to age ourselves, but like, I've been in this business for almost 20 years. And it's just because something, if I had stopped getting excited about it, we wouldn't be talking. I wouldn't be you wouldn't
Right.
have heard from me. I would have just done something different. It's because there's always something that is exciting me that I'm thinking about that I want to do next. And I think that that's the most intuitive way to build a career that you are happy in, is to
Mm.
listen to what your soul wants to do.
Guys, Jessie Cruickshank, if you're not already following her or listening to her podcast, it's about time, because you're going to get some zest in your life and
Yes.
joy and magic, and like remembering not to take yourself so seriously. And
Yeah.
I just like cannot thank you enough for coming onto the podcast. Like what a like breath of fresh air you are, and you're just like one of the most genuine people I know. Like even when I met you, I think I met you for a second time at CAFA, at the Canadian Arts and Fashion Awards, when you were
Yes.
hosting, and just like you are who you are. Like you are genuinely nice, and I feel like it's just really lovely to like be amongst these types of people who, listen, I'm in an entrepreneurial world. It's like very different, and people do have these facades, and then you meet them and you're like, whoa, like you're actually like not like helpful. Like you say you help women. You don't help women.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, reach out to
Oh
me and
my
like I'll get back
God.
to you. Like, no, you didn't get back to me, and I've asked you something for like a million. So like thank you for genuinely being like the person that you say you're going to be. I think like it's this big thing to like have a word and stick to it, and thank you.
Oh, that's really kind to say. Thanks. I think to my own detriment, I don't know how to be anybody else. I would probably be far more successful in the mainstream if I did know how to like put on some kind of a persona, but here we are. You get what you get on the mic, on camera, off camera. It's just me. It's just me. Little Canadian me.
What we say to our kids, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah, that's right. You get what you get and you don't get upset. That's what I should say to all the men who are, tell me I'm too edgy or too this. You get what you get and you don't get upset.
If you ever say that on camera, I'll know it was from this. So thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jessie.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for thinking of me and inviting me on. This is such a fun conversation.
love today's episode? Hit subscribe and share it with a friend who'll love it too. For more jam-packed episodes and to connect with me, head to dannykagan.com. And hey, the best way to support the show? Leave a 5-star review for me so we can help more people like you raise it up.